We are going to show you an IMF financial crisis in 1997 and COVID-19 pandemic, and then comparison between them.
Hello, my name is Sinso, and I'm going to talk about IMF financial crisis in Korea. After the Industrial Revolution, due to the development of traffic and communications, people, capital, knowledge, and products could move freely and became globalized. According to these international relations, the government adopted the neoliberalism positively. Neoliberalism is a policy which minimized intervention of government and came in since the government couldn't prevent economic crisis with oil shock. So some major companies expanded their business too much and they was bankrupt in a stream. In addition, there was a stock market crash and desperation of one Korean bill, and at that time, Asian financial crisis happened a lot. As a result, national credit rate fell, and foreign investors retrieved the investment, and the government was out of foreign exchange holdings. The government asked many organizations to lend money, so we lent $60 billion in IMF. IMF is an organization to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world while depending on the World Bank for its resources. So our economy was under severe administration and control. People collect gold for our country. That gold was over 200 tons. It was really helpful because Korean bill no longer had value as high as before, and it impressed foreigners and made the national credit rating go up. As a result, we can pay back in 2001, 3 years earlier than expected. However, many banks and firms became foreigners, and due to the severe administration, many people lost jobs, and the gap between the rich and the poor got bigger since at that time poor people undersold their house and rich people bought them at a cheap price. Polarization of wealth is a really serious social problem. Some people say it is natural in capitalism in competitive society, but it was not a personal captivity problem. It was made by economic crisis. The poor couldn't receive any chance to compete fairly. So I think it must be solved someday.
Hello, my name is Sejin, and now I'm going to tell you the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic. In Korea, consumption is becoming less than before. Community sellers are going through a hard time. Also, local markets are getting harder to sell things since people don't come to the market easily. The number of confirmed patients of COVID-19 are getting lower, but it doesn't get low enough to zero. It seems that the actions of not facing people if possible is getting generalized. Some workers are working at home and students are going to school every 2 weeks for each grade to minimize the chance of contacting each other. Also, national economy level is getting lower. Korea's second quarter economy result has gotten 3.3% lower than the first, and USA's overall economy level is 4.8% lower than last year. So I think the major problems are involved with economy. Korean government has given the stimulus check to every people of Korea. So eventually money stock has become larger, and because of this many economists are worrying about superinflation after the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, some economists are expecting that USD's demand is going to be higher. The main idea is that there are going to be many money left after the COVID-19 pandemic. Then people would want to have dollar bills since dollar bills are much more worth than other bills. After that, USA will exchange dollar bills with things that America need, and then people in USA can stop the inflation of itself. It doesn't really sound very convincing, right? But we cannot forget the chance that it can happen someday. And I think the things that have unmoving value will be higher, such as gold, silver, diamond, land or so. I cannot say that our future can be brighter if these things get real. So we need to prepare not only for the COVID-19 virus, but also the things that will happen after the pandemic. Who knows what will happen? I just hope for the best.
Hi, I'm Yuzo, and I'm going to compare two situations: IMF financial crisis and economy after COVID-19. The similar part is both of them bring big confused and widen the gap between the rich and the poor. However, they are essentially different problems. IMF financial crisis was our own problem, but COVID-19 is a global problem. So, COVID-19 is much tough to solve, also more damaged than IMF financial crisis. Now, I'll compare them deeply. In IMF financial crisis, we lose the value of Korean money, won. However, we solved the problem as collect 200 tons of gold. It was hard to overcome it, but after we overcame the IMF financial crisis, it brings good inflows. However, COVID-19 is totally different. COVID-19 will bring global economic panic. The USA is the center of economy right now, but right now they got a big hit by COVID, and this will bring bigger damage. To revive the economy, the Korean government is doing many policies. First, they are giving the disaster assistance fund to everyone to include consumption. Due to COVID-19, some can't earn money. To make them to buy something and do something, the government gave the disaster assistance fund. The truth is, both of them bring a widening gap between the rich and the poor. In IMF financial crisis, some people sold their house to survive. But now that brings a bad effect. I think this will apply again. People who have less money try to sell the things they are having, and later that will widen the gap between the rich and the poor.